So how has it affected? It must have affected your community very similarly to the way our community was affected here. Everyone almost felt as if Sarah Ann was their child.
We still refer to them as our girls. That's amazing. In fact, one of the fathers, Drew Collins, Elizabeth Collins, was one of the victims. Larry Cook was the other victim in our Iowa case. And Drew came out to your bike ride just a year ago.
Yeah.
And I think he has been dramatically, obviously, impacted by this, but he's been very positive. He's a very faithful man. He's coming out here with one of our local police chiefs, the Director of Safety Services. His name is Dan Trelka. They'll be picking Drew up at the Syracuse airport around noontime today, and then coming in here. But I think this ride is one that does affect an entire community, because it's a tragedy that could happen literally to anyone. We were at the Sequoia School yesterday when they let the kids out on the bus ride home, and you think, your kids go to school, it's supposed to be the safest place around for them during the day, and then something happens on a bike ride home. I think in Sarah's case, I think the chain broke or something. Just an unusual thing. She ended up having to be walking home instead of she would have been home.
Yeah, think of the timing. Think of the time. It's all about timing. Here is this evil driving down a country road, and that's how it happened. What are you guys trying to accomplish by following this on video? What are your goals here?
Definitely. Well, I think we're just trying to raise some awareness. As Ron said, it can really happen to anyone, and that's what's so scary. And this ride seems like a great opportunity to talk about these issues that are affecting really any parent and any kid.
Yeah. And the response here has been incredible. They raise a lot of money, and we print the posters from this office here that go around across the country, and it does raise that awareness. What are we trying to do? We want people to really be you prevent, right? To be smart.
Pay attention.
And pay attention.
Watch your kids. Know where they are at all times. We talked to, locally, Katie Ullman's been a big help to us. We met a great gentleman last night, Dick Jordan. He's well known in this community, I think, and he was one of the original riders on what they call Team Sarah.
Yeah.
And of course, Tony Artesa here has done help us. Now we've talked to Jim Simpson, who was one of the people from the New York State Police Department. He's retired now, who is haunted by this fact that Sarah's body was never found. So the community comes together and tries to do something to prevent this from happening. We know that's not going to happen to everybody, but just like their goal is one child at a time. Bring them home, raise the awareness, make sure that people understand this is not acceptable. And you mentioned the word evil, Bill, and that's exactly what it is. You know? And we have to do something to make sure that this type of person is taken care of, so to speak, and put away.
Michael Crowe, Ron Steele, each from Waterloo, Iowa, KWWL. Following the Ride for Missing Children up here. Have you seen the way this ride goes? The people lining the streets. The end is always the greatest. It's really unbelievable.
No, we're very excited. We've seen some photographs, and we can't wait to be a part of that and feel that emotion. I think what makes this so special is that almost everybody riding is either someone who knows, has a friend. I mean, friends of the missing. I think it's what they call the riders. And so you have a lot of families here. I think they said, Michael, 15 families are going to be here who are involved directly and have a missing child or were involved in a missing child case. So that makes it awfully personal.
And can you tell us what happened in your community after this abduction? Here, people's lives changed. It changed our lives forever. When I was a kid, I'm sure it was the same for you guys. Right? You go off on your bike, come home before dark.
In fact, sometimes we came home after dark. We never even locked our doors, our windows, our cars, or anything like that. Things are so different. In our community, I think, Bill, one of the things that people are angry because, there is still a killer out there in this small Iowa town, which is, just a little suburb, kind of like we're staying in New Hartford, so Evansdale, Iowa would be similar to that, just a small community where everybody knows everybody else, and it's really hard to believe that even happened. So people are angry that it happened. They want something done. So far, the Iowa Division of Criminal Investigation has done a great job in tracking down leads, and I think they know in the back of their minds who it might be. The question is, can they get the evidence together to make an arrest? But it's made people a lot more aware that this can happen, and we cannot let it happen because it just has an impact on not just the family involved, which certainly has a tremendous effect on them, but everybody else too.
I hope you take the. I know you're going to be doing a lot. You guys have a satellite truck here.
Yeah, we drove our satellite truck. It was about 16
hours
out here.
Well, most people think when you say we're going to New York, they think of the concrete jungle. They don't think of the rolling hills that
this is beautiful country out here, man. I had never been up this. I guess you call it Central New York here.
Central New York, upstate. We're on the verge of the Adirondacks, and I do hope that you take the time, and it's very close to here, and it's very close to New Hartford, to go along that road where Sarah Ann was abducted, and I think you'll see similarities. It's just a country road, innocence, just families, and here is this, as we said before, evil driving down that country road. And now we know he was just looking for his next victim.
Yeah, I'm one of those that believes that every little decision you make in life, I mean, it may seem irrelevant, alters your destiny only slightly. And you mentioned the word timing, and that is everything. So it may seem like you're not really off course with one little decision, but it does change the way the day turns out. Yeah. And in her case, had the chain not broken, we wouldn't even be having this discussion here today, would we?
Yeah, we really wouldn't. What are your plans for today? What are you guys looking for today? Do you have anything planned and places you're going to possibly be going today?
Yeah, well, we're meeting with some folks at Troop D coming up this morning later, and then we will be watching them load the bikes, getting some footage of that for the ride tomorrow, later this afternoon. And then we're touring the center here in Utica this evening, and then we'll be doing live shots for our station this evening.
Right. Yeah, we were downtown last night in Oneida, right there by your roundabout. And that was a pretty active place, but it was a nice place to do a live shot. There's a nice I don't know what's the statue down there. Do you know?
Yeah, what is that?
Oneida Square.
Yeah, Oneida Square.
This is Soldiers and Sailors Monument.
Okay, sure.
And so that
the
was
roundabout
Oneida Square
is new, so there's still people getting used to that.
Yeah. Did you see any picketers out there?
No,
Still?
no.
Okay, they're gone.
Oh, they've been protesting the roundabouts.
This was a couple of years ago.
Now, believe it or not, we even actually have roundabouts in Iowa. We don't really have that much traffic and worry about roundabouts, I don't think. So they're kind of controversial back home, too. And what I want to ask you guys, though, in your community, is there a lot of education in the schools now? This is what has happened, I think, back in Iowa, where they make the kids so aware. I think they used to call it stranger danger, you know. But now it's just it's one of those things where we really need the kids to be, and they're so innocent, they shouldn't have to go through this, but they really need to be aware that, and you want to trust people, but you can't trust everybody, you know.
Well, I think that what has come into play, too, is the school shootings. The Connecticut school shooting, it's really, there's the abduction issue, and then there's the worry of having to lock down within the schools themselves.
Yeah, yesterday when we were at the Sequoia School, I mean, I felt a little uneasy just pulling into the parking lot because I didn't want anybody to think that we were
right. What are you doing here?
Or something. So I went into the school to identify myself and say, hey, listen, we're going to shoot some video outside the school just to get the memorial for Sarah, that they had that beautiful ribbon there outside, and they have some nice posters. Obviously, the school still is very much involved, although these kids obviously never knew Sarah, and probably a lot of the teachers did not know Sarah.
It's hard to believe so much time has passed. So, but it has all remained. In this terrible tragedy, a new life has been created, and that's the life of this event, and which is what brings you guys here.
Yeah, the interconnectivity of people and the emotions that draw people together. People really are, most people, except for the people you're talking about, the evil ones, they do care and love each other and want to do what they can to help one another and be positive and try to be trustworthy. And this event is really one that helps raise the awareness. It helps raise the money. You know, that we were reading that this chapter here in your area, since its inception, has distributed something almost 9 million posters.
It's really unbelievable.
So they do that. Now they concentrate on the educational aspect of really getting people in tune with the time of we're in 2014, so it's different than 1950.
And the times have changed, and we have no choice whether we like it or not to change along with them. Well, I hope we treat you well as you're here. I'm sure we will, and we'll be watching along the route. Maybe we'll check in with you tomorrow as you're going along the route by a cell phone.
Thanks very much. We're flattered to have been invited to be on your show. It's really great. One of the things we do, we look for high-speed internet access so we can
there'll be-
feed some of our stories back in their video.
Well, I will tell you, there's plenty of that here, so feel free to, piggyback if you need to. All right, gentlemen, thank you very much.
Well,
This is a
thank
great
you so much for what you do. I was noticing your station's been on the air, almost 90 years.
Been a long time, yeah.
Wow, that's community commitment. That's what it's all about. Local broadcasting is fantastic, and having been in radio many, many years ago, I still love that even better than television.
And, listen, there are some mornings I feel like I've been here 90 years myself. Woo!
I know the feeling.
All right, gentlemen. Michael Crowe, Ron Steele, thank you guys very
Thank
much.
you. Thank
We'll break here. Christine with an update on what's going on.